Hello all you dozens of viewers out there. Welcome. I'm wearing this lizard shirt today because you've probably seen that meme where it's like a little lizard and he's just smashing a button going lizard, 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 lizard.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
I feel like that meme. That's what I'm like when I'm buying dolls. I mean, that's not fair to me. There is thought that goes into it, but I'm not considering like I'm about to be unemployed and have no money. And why am I doing this? Probably for the same reason everybody else is doing this. Dopamine hit of the buying, dopamine hit of having a cute thing, or perhaps it's me trying to heal my inner child who didn't get to have a childhood and didn't really play with dolls. I'm really not sure, but I'm here today with dolls that I should not have bought, and there's many reasons I shouldn't have bought them. We've got the Defa Lucy Love Collection. Now, I loved every doll in the series, obviously, but I only bought two, and that's for many reasons. First of all, I shouldn't have bought them in the first place. Second of all, they were expensive. The base price of these dolls was more expensive than a Defa Lucy is, generally speaking. But in addition to that, of course, the tariffs have caused shipping to increase, and therefore I pay a higher price for shipping. The shipping on these was absurd. They were about $30 just the doll, and then the shipping was close to $10 on each doll. So I'm paying about $40 for these dolls, which even if they're the most high quality, most amazing dolls I've ever had in my hands, probably aren't worth it because they are just a playline doll after all. When I saw the collection though, here's the lineup, all the girls together. I had a lot of feelings, obviously, but I feel like, first of all, it's Barbie scale, which is my favorite scale of dolls. Second of all, it's giving like aesthetically Rainbow High vibes, but if Rainbow High like only used Sunny Madison's style. And Sunny Madison has my favorite style of all the Rainbow High dolls because it's that sort of kawaii, decora, cute vibe. And I just could not resist picking up at least a couple of these. Now, because these are coming into the collection somewhat unexpectedly, that means somebody's gotta go. So some of my older Defa Lucys are gonna get kicked out, and these Defa Lucys are gonna replace them. Those Defa Lucys will be going up on my shop that I will be creating within the next, I don't know, 6 weeks. Because first of all, I have to get rid of things. Second of all, I need money because I'm about to be unemployed. No more talking, no more chatting. Let's get into the Defa Lucy Love Collection. I picked these two because they were my favorites. And I know what you're thinking. Don't you usually stay away from green and blue dolls? Yes. And because I liked them so much and because they were green and blue, I figured these were the ones I had to have. I just think that the style is so cute and they look from inside the packaging decently quality. Is this a $30 doll? Probably not, but we will find out when opening. The other thing I'm noticing immediately is, what is this here? A stand. I find this so funny because I feel like aesthetically, obviously, they were like, let's do something like Rainbow High and do a rainbow of dolls. That's what they were thinking in their minds. And then they were like, Rainbow High no longer makes stands and the collectors hate that. And so let's put a stand in for the first time with our Defa Lucy playline dolls. That's what they did. And I feel like there is sort of like an element of like paying attention that the Defa Lucy company is doing. Like, they're clearly looking around at the doll space and being like, what do people want? How can we make our doll more appealing than the other dolls on the market? And how do we like draw people in? And I don't know. Clearly they've done it for me. Since I'm holding this one in my hands, let's take a look at her. The packaging is a market upgrade from our last packaging that we saw. The last packaging was really lightweight. It wasn't very detailed. It was very, very basic, but this is much heavier. This is a plastic bottom and top. Why? Who knows? Probably contributing to the $30 price point. She does look cute in this box, so I could see somebody wanting to display her in this box. Of course, I have to touchy, so she won't be staying in there. The background is adorable. It's got flowers with like an eye motif in it. It like reminds me of Kawaii, but also sort of the 60s, which I suppose are two of my favorite things. One more reason to be very attracted to the situation that I'm seeing here. The packaging looks simple, but really chic. It says Defa Lucy Love here on the front, and just very basic font. The top looks as so. It's got the Defa Lucy logo. Bottom is just plain, but still plastic. And the back looks like this. It has the same floral eye motif on it. Cute. And then there's just some general information about Defa Lucy and safety down here at the bottom. All right, I had to stop for a second because of the hallway noise. Of course, they have to vacuum right now, and we're probably gonna hear more hallway noise and dog barking. I don't have time to deal with this. I have too many things to do today. There are too many dolls to review. So here we go. We're gonna start out with this Defa Lucy, the one with the medium skin tone. I don't have a medium skin tone Defa Lucy. I have a couple dark skin tone Defa Lucys and a lot of white Defa Lucys, but no medium skin tone ones. So that was great that this was one of my favorites. So we're gonna just start opening this. I like to know what the packaging is like. I don't know that other people really enjoy this part, but I think it's fascinating the way that dolls are packaged and how easy they are to get out of the box. One of my hyper focuses, I do suppose. So here we go. I'm just slicing into the tape on the top of this really nice plastic cover. This feels wasteful. But is it wasteful? Could you use that for something? Absolutely, I'm gonna keep these. As a hoarder and a crafter, there's always a way to find something to do with a nice piece of plastic. Very easy slide out. I didn't even have to take the bottom off. That's +1 for Defa Lucy, -1 for MGA, but it's always -1 for MGA because they're the hardest to unbox. So here's what she's looking like on her little card. Again, it just looks really good, and I'm like impressed with the way that that looks. Is it $40 worth of good? Probably not. But let's see how easy she is. I'm just snipping a couple of tea ties here. I went to the doctor for my hip again yesterday, and you know, we got to talking about all of my ailments. And he's like pretty interested in my disease, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility type. And we started talking about like, you know, the canker sores, the inflammation, all this sort of stuff. Something that I suspected was I have the mast cell activation syndrome that comes with Ehlers-Danlos. And he was like, yeah, you probably do. He sent me a bunch of information on that. And I've been having a lot of like tooth and mouth trouble since I had that whole thing with the tooth that happened last year where I needed my tooth cracked in half, I needed a crown, and then I had a wisdom tooth removed on top of it, and then the wisdom tooth didn't heal right, and my jawbone grew through my gums. It was awful. But I'm still having kind of like an inflammation response in my mouth, and I feel like, you know, little brain here always putting puzzle pieces together. I feel like my mast cell activation syndrome disorder, whatever the classification of that is in play here. Like it's rejecting the fake tooth in my mouth, and so it's always inflamed around that area. So next time I go to the dentist, I'll have to have that discussion. It's like the problem is nobody knows about this disorder and nobody studies it, especially in this country. And you come in with these statements like, I have Ehlers-Danlos. They're like, huh? I don't know what that is. So the doctor sent me some nice paperwork I can hand out to people when I go in telling them about my disorder. So that's fun. And he's finally put in for approval for some imaging on the hip because it doesn't seem to be getting better. It's perpetually in pain and fiery shooting burning. Very simple to remove. I just cut a few tea ties. There are no tea ties holding the head in, and her hair looks beautiful. So if Defa Lucy can do it, so can you. Mattel, MGA, any other doll company out there. And I don't know if they're listening or they just like care less about the box display. I don't know what the situation is, but it seems like to me, for my personal preferences towards unboxing, aesthetic, accessories, that Defa Lucy is coming through with all of the things that I like. Here's the stand base. It's pretty thick and heavy, but it's kind of dirty looking. That's easy, I'll clean it. I don't know if I did that right, but it feels pretty secure, honestly. This looks like it's supposed to move around. Oh, there it goes, and it does. It feels pretty sturdy, like the stick feels like a little bit sturdier maybe than a Mattel stick, and the waist clip is very similar to the Mattel waist clips, which do suck and will break. So that's a point of note, but it is very nice that the doll comes with a stand. I'm happy about that. And what this is giving for me is sort of one of the middle of the road Barbie dolls, like a low grade collector doll with the stand and the quality of the clothing, and maybe the quality of the accessories are a little bit lower, but when you look at the quality of the clothing, it's very nice, very high. Ooh, and the hair is soft as soft can be. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, so let's start in with the review of this precious little angel. I love her aesthetically so much. I think she's so cute. And when I dress my dolls, this is like my preferred aesthetic, sort of cute, sort of kawaii, which is the same word in 2 different languages. But I feel like kawaii has a different connotation to it. There's like a specific type of cute that I associate with kawaii, and this is it. It's like that pastel, adorable, precious, maybe like a little bit over the top. And that's what I like so much about these dolls. And we'll start, of course, with the top of the head as we normally would. On the top of her head, she has a pair of sunglasses. Those do seem to be tea-tied to her head, which isn't my favorite, obviously, because I hate tea ties with a fiery passion, but that's fine. They're in like a bright green shade, and this is honestly one of my favorite colors. I just think it's so fun and so unique, and it's like a delight for my little eyes here. So I love to see the glasses in that color. I love that they're also huge because I feel like she would wear huge glasses. The sculpted detail in them is really nice too, and we will take those off of her head after this review and see them on her face, but those are so fun to me, and I like that it's made of transparent plastic so we can still see the eyes through the glasses. That's really nice. Of course, the next thing we're seeing on the top of the head, which I feel like is something I've never seen on a playline doll before, are these little pom-pom hair accessories. Like, are you kidding me? This is such my vibe. It is so cute. It is so precious. I love her little pigtails going on here. I love the pieces that hang out the front. This hair is extremely soft. It feels really nice in my hand, even the green part. So this is, I think this is Saran, but once again, I'm not great at identifying hair types, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But the fact that they're giving us Saran in a fantasy color is something that Mattel usually doesn't do. Every once in a while you get one, especially if Angel Kent is involved. But that hair, look at it. It's beautiful. It's so cute, it's so fun, and her little dangly front bits are in the green shade, which I love. There's absolutely no product in this hair straight out of the box, and it looks incredible. Look what you can do if you don't strap the hair down too tight and don't put any product in it. Thank you, Defa Lucy, for answering my prayers. Let's move the hair out of the way so we can get a closer look at this face, which is so pretty. I feel like this is my favorite Defa Lucy screening I've ever seen. It's probably the same face mold as some of the other Defa Lucys, but the screening is quite different. She's got some like blonde shade eyebrows. There are some little individual painted hairs in them. And then the eyes is what I really like. I like that they're huge. I like that she's side glancing. She's got a cut crease in there. There's not too much makeup on this doll, but she's got a really thick winged eyeliner, which I really like. And her lashes are like so spiky and cute looking, which I feel like really suits the aesthetic of the doll, like generally. She's got quite a nice nose, which is one of my favorite things about Defa Lucy. She's, for some reason, glittery. That's what that reflection is. Not sure why there's glitter on her, but okay. There might be a little blush on those cheeks, but it's really not much. And I feel like a cute blush look would have really elevated this, but I can do that myself. And then she's got a bright pink lip, closed mouth, which is my favorite style of mouth. And I think the color of pink goes really nicely with the green. It's very dripped in plastic. My favorite thing to say every time I see green and pink together. The outfit. Okay. Right off the bat, the sweatshirt fabric feels thick and high quality. Obviously, the style of the sweatshirt is adorable, so let's get a closer look. We've got a little hoodie, kangaroo pocket, little ruffle sleeves. Okay, adorable. The strings on the hoodie are functional, which is so great. The kangaroo pocket is a functional pocket. Okay. The quality of the way that that looks is really nice, and I like that we've got like the brighter green here on the string. A great way to finish something like this with like a serge that's just slightly different shade than the rest of the sweatshirt really brings a lot of life to it, in my opinion. And the stitching detail on this looks really nice, but also is in the same color as the serge, which brings it all together in a really attractive way. The sweatshirt is pull-on, so there's no closure in it. I think that with a different hairstyle, the hood would fit on her head. There is no opening or anything back here though for the hair. That's a very nice piece in my opinion. It's much higher quality than something you get from Mattel. It's kind of on par with something you might get from MGA or Rainbow High or something like that, which is why I feel like this is a perfect blend of all the dolls. Her single accessory here is this purse. I mean, It's literally an accessory. It does not function. The style of it is kind of unique though, with like the one side strap. I like the shape of it. It's got some sculpted detail in it. Like, it's fine. It's a fine accessory. It's not doing much for me here, there, anywhere, but it does the job of being a purse accessory. I also think the color is nice. It goes with the serge detail on the sweatshirt. And then her bottom half is this cute little ruffled skirt. Okay, let's have a look at the whole of it. It does come up to the waist, which I think is nice. It will help it like stay on a little bit better. And it's got 3 rows of ruffles. Those are heat sealed, which, you know, people complain about it, but I feel like it's the cleanest way to finish something at this scale. It just makes for a nice finish and it isn't bulky. The underside of this fabric is like a lighter color, which isn't my favorite. It's white, totally white. And this is made out of something very similar to something you might see on a Barbie. So it's not the highest quality fabric, unlike what you'd see on an MGA doll who uses a much more high quality fabric. But the style of it is so cute and the sweatshirt piece is very high quality. So you're getting one really nice quality piece, one like okay quality piece with good design. Here is the back. It's held together with Velcro. We're looking at the good kind, and they've done the thing again where they use the Velcro as part of the flap for the closure, which saves money. It's a very smart way to save money that nobody's gonna see or care about. Coming on down here to the little legs, I love dolls and socks, and it's so appealing that these dolls came with socks, okay? They're little like half calf socks, so they come up like about mid-calf. They've got a precious, absolutely precious little lacy ruffle detail at the top. There are little bows that are so cute. And they're, of course, in a green color that matches the rest of her outfit. And again, we've got some pretty simple shoes. I think these are a Barbie knockoff, if I'm honest. They're really close to a pair of Barbie shoes that I have. But I like the style. They're in, of course, the same bright green shade. There's some nice sculpted detail in them. These would be super elevated with just a little bit of painted detail, which I will do myself. But I love those shoes so much. They're so cute. A point of note, the socks are thick, which is nice, but it makes the shoes not fit perfectly. So that's just something to be aware of. And I've shown Defa Lucy bodies on my channel before. We're not gonna undress this girl today because we've got a lot to do, but I will give you a look at the articulation, head articulation down and back and side to side. So the down is good, the side to side is good. The back isn't great, and of course she'll spin. She'll spin all the way around. Her arms come out to about there. We don't get a 180 off of her, but we don't with Barbie either. She's got a single jointed elbow, which is fine. She's got wrist articulation, which is nice. And the way these joints feel is very sturdy. They don't feel floppy at all. It feels like a little bit of work to make them function, which I think is nice, because then she can hold poses well. I feel like I sound like the Defa Lucy spokesperson, but I literally am impressed every time I open one. What can I say? Her sit is technically 90, but she's quite sway backed, so she leans backwards. She has a single jointed knee, no foot articulation, which is nice because I feel like the feet flop around too much. And that is a look at cute green Defa Lucy, and I honestly couldn't be happier with her. She's everything I love about a doll. And let's move on to the blue one. We've got the exact same packaging. Don't really need to take a look. She's just blue. And so I'm gonna crack right into her. And so I mentioned I'm about to be unemployed, which is fine. I need some time off. I'm hoping that something will come around for fall, but I don't know because I'm not even sure who's doing anything. Like, I don't know the supervisors of the shows coming in. I don't even know which ones are doing what. I should probably try and find out so I can apply. But at this point, I'll probably end up swinging again, which is fine. Just my schedule a little more open. But that means I have to like cut back on doll spending. Like, I'm just not gonna have the funds. And I'm disappointed because today Loyal Subjects released a new collection of gem dolls, and I want every single one and can buy 0 of them, which is fine. I mean, hopefully when they actually release, this is the pre-order in December, I will be in better employment status. But the other thing is the money that I do have, I'd like to save because I'll be going to Massachusetts and I'd like to be able to do some suburban doll shopping / accessory shopping, you know. It's just nice to go to the suburbs and have options. And so that's where most of my money is going. And of course, whatever's left of my money at present is going to the Bratz Fashion Pixies. So we're gonna be working on some different types of content here on this channel. You know, whatever I feel like doing. There'll be crafting, there'll be doll display stuff. So if you like the less reviewy content, which I feel like a lot of you do, if you like the store content, the shopping content, all of that kind of thing, definitely subscribe and stay tuned because it's coming to a YouTube near you. And by YouTube near you, I mean my YouTube near you. Her stand looks cleaner than the first one, but still is kind of scraped. And the sticks are really hard to get in. But I like that they put this thing on there for you so you know which direction to put the thing on. Okay, Defa Lucy number 2. I love her. I really like this blue shade. It's kind of like leaning in the purple direction. It's kind of like periwinkle. I like that. And let's start here with the top of her head. She's got a pair of blue heart sunnies, but they're nipped off at the bottom, which is really, really interesting. I like that a lot. And they're in a darker blue shade than the rest of her outfit, which I think is kind of fun for contrast. Then her hair is also pigtailed, but we've got braids, plaits if you will. And then her hair accessory is this cute scrunchie situation. They're big fat scrunchies in a gingham pattern in blue, which I love. It's so cute. The hair quality, once again, feels really, really soft. It is a fantasy tone. We know Mattel with fantasy tones loves to give us polypropylene, so apparently it can be done. And I know these dolls were a little bit more expensive, but Mattel is a bigger company, so we should have higher expectations. Coming on down to the face, this one has a very similar screening to the other one. And I like this screening, so I'm not complaining. She's got the same sort of blondish eyebrows with the little individual painted hairs. The eyes have the same cut crease and eyelash pattern as the other one, and the thick black liner as well. It looks like she's got some pink makeup on her eyelids, but does she? Because in this light, it doesn't look like that. So I don't know, it's hard to tell. But this one has brown eyes, whereas the last one had green, and she's got the same really cute little catch lights in there. I love that catch light detail. This one definitely is wearing blush. She's got a lighter skin tone, so it might just show up better. And this one's got a really soft pink lip, and I think that color pink goes great with this blue that she is wearing. So love the face. And then coming on down to the outfit, of course, a major selling point for me. I love this outfit. I think this is my favorite outfit. So this is a little collared sweatshirt, which is precious. The collar has a literal facing detail in it to finish it off and to hold it down. Is it doing the best job? No, because it's very thin, but that's the sort of thing you could probably press in place and make look really nice. The collar is only on the front of the sweatshirt. It does not carry onto the back, as you can see, which it would be better if it did, especially for the price point, but we can't have it all. This sweatshirt has 3 little button details. Those buttons are sewn on, proper sewn on. They're so little and cute. And I just love the aesthetic of that. It's another aesthetic that I feel like you don't see very often. If you're getting a sweatshirt, you're usually getting a hoodie, and this one's a little bit different, and I love to see it. Her extra added little detail on the sweatshirt are these cute little lace things center arm, which I love. The blue shade is beautiful. It's got some cuff detail, a little band at the bottom. The back looks as so, held together with Velcro, same style, and it's nice Velcro. So overall, a pretty high quality piece. The only thing I would change about it personally is finishing the collar on the back of it, but overall looks really nice to me. And then we've got her skirt here. It feels very similar to the fabric on the other skirt, but it looks better. No, maybe this is nicer. It's a little bit less cheap looking, I do suppose. It's got the gingham pattern on it, which is really nice. That gingham pattern does go all the way through the fabric, so it is nicer. It's the same sort of style of skirt with a thick waistband, but this one has a single gathered layer, which is really cute. Little flounce, little cuteness. And then her hem has this cute little lace trim, which is adorable. Love that for her. Here's her bag, which is in the shape of a pineapple for some reason, and is blue, and it's sort of like a little wristlet bag. I like the other bag better, if I'm being honest. I don't know that I love the color of that with the rest of her. Maybe I do. I don't know. Can't really tell. Actually, her shoes are a similar tone, so I do suppose it goes with something. And speaking of, let's come on down to those shoes. We've got some more friggin' adorable socks with a lace detail at the top. This one's a gathered lace, really, really cute. It stands up instead of turning down like the other one. And they're just little white socks, which is an aesthetic and vibe that I love. And then we've got a different shoe mold. I feel like most of the Defa Lucy lines, if you're looking at the shoes, they kind of all have the same shoe mold, which is fine. Like, it's a line, they can have the same shoes, but these are different. These are a booty, and look at all the little strapping detail on them. That's so cute, so fun. There's some sculpted detail on the top there, as you can see. And there's a platform and a little heel, and this is another shoe that could benefit from some painted detail, which I will obviously do. And that's a look at blue Defa Lucy. All right, so here they are in their sunglasses. The sunglasses honestly don't fit great. It's like the straps are too long for their heads. So those aren't sitting flush against the face, and I don't really like them on her face. These ones are very large, but I feel like they kind of suit her aesthetic, and I do like them on her face, and they do fit better than the other ones, but you can see it better on this one. The straps are just a little bit too long. Let's put them back on top of their heads for final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the Defa Lucy Love collection. First of all, I love the dolls. I think their faces are beautiful, and these aren't the only screenings in the collection either. There's other screenings if you like something else better. The hair quality is high. The clothing quality is high. The design is high. I love that they come with stands. They have great articulation. Now, the price point is where I struggle. I would say about $25 to $28 is a fair price for a doll like this, based on the quality and the accessories. And while they do sit in that range price-wise, I mean, they're a little high at $30, the shipping makes them ridiculous and unaffordable. And that's my honest opinion. The fact that I even bought these is truly insane, especially because they weren't in the budget and I didn't have the money. It was the aesthetic that really made me like need to buy them. So if you're not super into this aesthetic, or you're not that into Defa Lucy, which I clearly am, they're not a necessity for you. But if you like this aesthetic and you've got a little bit of extra money floating around, go for it, because you will be happy with your high quality doll, your doll stand, your vibes, your aesthetic, your mood, your vibe, your feeling. And that's my opinion on the Defa Lucy Love collection. Another point of note, the way they stand on these stands is really good because there's no extra like crap around the stand stick, so I can get her to stand up nice and straight. So that's another point of note. It's a good stand in addition to just being a stand. And to make room for our new Defa Lucy Love collection, 2 of my first Defa Lucys have got to go. And I love these girls. I think they're beautiful. They're giving Barbie extra vibes. I think that's what they were going for. You can't keep them all. And I've got one with this face screening. I'm keeping my favorite one from this collection. So these 2 have got to go. So keep an eye out if you have any interest in these girls for them to go up on sale. I'm gonna try to keep all of my prices as reasonable as possible because I know how like nightmarish it is to try to get dolls in the secondhand market. But the place that's gonna get y'all is probably in the shipping. But I'm gonna do the best I can for you. Let's put them in the to sell pile. I'll probably make a video about the store once it's up and running. I've got 2 more weeks of work, and that's kind of at the top of my list. If you made it this far in the video, drop me a rainbow emoji down below for our pastel rainbow Defa Lucy line. And of course, now that you've heard my excessive opinions about these dolls, I'd like to hear your opinions. What do you think about them aesthetically? What do you think about them price-wise? Do you feel like the Defa Lucy brand is coming for Barbie? Are they trying to come for MGA products too, like Rainbow High? I'm interested in all of your opinions. Let's carry on the conversation down below. And I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful